Well, it's April and fishing season finally opened up in Humboldt County, but outside of 50 fathoms. And I think it's just the last couple years that that fishery's been open. And I was hoping to get some different species of bottom fish that I don't usually get to catch. We got to get out there and we did catch a few different species, not as many as I wanted, but we got to go out on Fishy Business, which is an awesome boat captained by Matt Dahlem, who I got to know a little bit better through jiu-jitsu over the last year or so. And he's an awesome captain, and this boat is really fun to fish. I guess it's an East Coast style boat, and it has a great drift. We just fished 3 people, my daughter and I and Matt, the day we went out, but it seems like it could fish 6 people really comfortably. And I had a chance to run down to Fields Landing to check it out when it was out of the water for yearly maintenance, and here it is right here. And yeah, just cool to see the boats out of the water sometimes and really get to check out all the beauty. We don't have a lot of big sport fishing boats where we live, and I think this is one of the sickest ones around.
They're mainly day boats, unless you get really big 50-foot lobster boats.
How many feet long is Fishy Business?
35.
35, yeah.
13.5 feet wide.
Yeah.
When I was in Connecticut, I was on the East Coast, looking. I was there for a month. And I went to Connecticut to look at this guy's boat that he was selling. It was a real pile, but he had a brand new offshore lobster boat that was being built, and they were putting in all the electronics. And he was just begging me to go lobster fishing with him for the 4-day trip. I was like, man, I'm not here to do lobster fishing, but it sounds really fun, They're really big.
This has got to be one of the biggest day boats, isn't it, around of all like the sport fishing boats?
Actually, Lowell just pulled his boat in here.
Yeah.
That boat's being sprayed off.
Oh, that's a sport fishing boat?
That's a charter boat.
Really?
Yeah. That one's to the left.
Yeah. So that's the biggest. That's the only one that size.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, he's
So gear going out on this trip outside of 50 fathoms. It's funny, as much as I'm into buying fishing gear, as much as I am into fishing, there's always still gaps. And, my goal is always to fish the lightest gear possible for the fishery and the fish I'm trying to catch. And mostly I'm fishing just inshore in about 20 to 60 feet of water when I'm fishing by myself or with friends in the kayak or in the little smoker craft I have. And I'm fishing really light gear. But I do have some heavier gear because I go on a 3-day trip tuna fishing every year with my brother and stepdad down in San Diego, which worked out good because the jigs I have for that are anywhere from like 200 to 500 grams, and going to fish water right now about 300 to 400 feet matches up perfect for a jig that's 200 to 400 grams. I did take a good handful of jigs. The smallest one I brought was 230 grams, and the biggest ones I brought were 400 grams, and I was planning on having a little bit of current out there, so the shape of these jigs is a little bit slimmer profile to get them down in the water. And what I ended up fishing was my Penn 15 narrow lever drag X, and it has a 40-pound braid on it. I was going to put 30-pound braid on this reel, but since I fish this around other anglers on bigger boats sometimes, I wanted to just have it spooled with 40-pound, because sometimes you have too light a braid and you're getting sawed off by other people's braid that's 50, 60-pound braid when there's tension on the line. And who wants to spend a bunch of money on braid over and over again, re-spooling your reel? And my idea with Josie, since she doesn't handle a bait casting reel very well, was just to match her up with the reel I had that has the most line retrieval per turn, which is this Penn Fathom 40 narrow lever drag. Now she cannot handle this in her hand at all, but we're just sticking that in the rod holder on the boat and letting her crank on fish with a dropper loop. And fishing a dropper loop is fun, but you know, I find the more I fish, the funner it is to like actively fish in the fishing column with jigs. So that was my goal. And I mostly fished this 400 gram Johnny jigs. I think that's a Guava Torpedo. And I don't even know what brand this jig is right here, but this 300 gram jig. And, you know, I'm just tying a fluorocarbon leader onto my setup. And obviously you can use any fluorocarbon, but for some reason I love this Yozuri hybrid. I always keep some around 15 and 20 pound leaders. And for some reason these knots just tighten up real easy and real good and stay where they're supposed to, as knots should. But yeah, so normally Josie's fishing a, you know, spinning setup, and she handles this real good. Jigging with that. I should have handed her off my setup a couple times just to let her play around with it a little bit more, but I didn't. And the rods is probably the biggest gap I have. I do have one slow pitch jigging rod, but it's not rated for jigs this heavy, or not ideal with it. So what I ended up bringing just to throw on the rod holder for Josie was this, just this Ugly Stick Tiger Elite, and it's rated for braided line 50 to 100. I think this has 60 pound braided line on it, you know, and this is also rated 4 to 7 ounces. And I think we had 4 ounce weight on the end of her terminal tackle there. And then this rod's a little bit stiffer than I wanted, but it was rated more, probably just outside of the line rating, but it, you know, obviously it's close. And this Travala did just fine with the 300 and 400 gram jigs. At some point I'll get another slow pitch jigging rod that's rated more for a little bit heavier situations like that. But overall, everything worked out real good. I'm sure if we would have fished with almost any gear, we would have caught the same amount of fish we were fishing. But yeah, that's about it as far as gear goes. So
HSU has 2 research vessels built there. The Coral Sea or? Yeah. Dude, the Coral Sea looks upgraded. Yeah.
For the boat, and so they bought this gigantic catamaran, single catamaran, real stable, you know.
Yeah.
It's gonna be a big research vessel. That'd be pretty cool.
Yeah.
That boat right there, got a lot of history to it.
The one behind it?
That HSU boat.
Yeah. The Coral Sea.
Yeah, an old friend, old commercial friend of ours.
The Coral Sea.
His name was Yellowtail Bill.
Yeah.
And freaking fishing one day. He's a big fat guy. He had like a couple of, like all those strokes TIAs.
Yeah.
TIAs. He was laying in the cutting gap when he came in tuna fishing one time. And the captain of that boat, Scott Downey, I think it was his name. He's sitting up there and he's watching us play fish. And Bill gets out and he goes,
What's up, little bear? How's it going? Early morning? Yeah. Are you gonna catch some hitchhikers today? Are you gonna catch some hitchhikers today? Sometimes, yeah. Sometimes you get, if you lean the rod one way or the other, it'll go.
Oh yeah, now it's going the other way.
Put the whole body into it now, huh? Gotta be getting close, right? Oh, what is that thing?
I don't know what to do.
We'll just lift him over. Double handing, huh? Your fish is maybe you might be wrapped around a mat over there. Let me see.
Hey, it's so funny. Hey.
And then you're vertical now.
It's on. Yeah. Are you almost up? Okay. What is that yet? Oh, it doesn't like me. What is that? You hooked it by its eye. It didn't have much of a choice. It didn't even eat it.
How you do it?
Like you got your rod. Wait, here.
400 feet of work, every fish. Oh yeah. Oh, what do we got? Oh, it's just one giant Oh, you know what? What's floating over there? Is that your other fish?
Overall, we had a successful 50 fathom mission, caught limits of rockfish with 3 different species, and Matt was awesome. Beautiful spring day out on the water. We definitely lucked out with that, and just a lot of fun. More missions to go. Hopefully Lighthouse up on the border, California, Oregon, coming soon.